ZeroLend's token generation event has been super controversial and has left so many people very disappointing with the outcome. So when they did initiate the process, one major and common confusion was around where would people claim their zero allocation based on, the airdrop requirements. So all you had to do, if you've watched my video that I posted on this a few weeks ago, all you had to do was just provide liquidity on one of their L2 markets. And then by doing so, you will be entitled to earning their early zero token, which is technically a receipt token that you will exchange later or will be exchanged on your behalf in this case for zero tokens. And you will also be earning zero gravity points, which have also an internal conversion. And then all of this would end up here in the rewards section. And the only network where you can claim your rewards on is Linea, because this is where the liquidity has been added initially. So you come here and then you see what you have available and then you claim basically. That's all there is to it. Sorry to interrupt you there, folks. I just want to quickly chime in and give you a quick update on our development. So contracts are still being in development and we have been testing out the product for the past 45 days. I just released a tweet. This is what you are expecting, all right? So a naked USDC and naked USDC out, and those are the annualized return over that period of 45 days. That's the range that you see in front of you. Now remember, markets are risky, markets are dynamic, but the goal here is to always optimize our strategy in order to give you the best return on just supplying USDC. That is the end game. Soft launch announcement coming in soon. Now the rewards page also would show you future earnings if you stake your zero tokens, or if you are still lending on borrowing, there's still an APR attached to these markets. Now if I go back to the dashboard right here, apologies, not the dashboard, because that would be my window. So you come here and then you look, for example, let's talk in the linear market. You see that Ethereum, there's a supply API right now of 7%, and you have additional zero tokens that you could earn through this APY right here. And this is the borrowing rate which you will pay, and you will also earn 9.63% of borrowing, net positive interest in zero tokens. So essentially, if you do the math, that's a net positive if you just loop it out, so supply, and then you can borrow, you supply again, borrow again, so on and so forth. You get the drill. So like I said, so many people were disappointed and there were lots of FUDs around the Discord chat going on. There was a lot of, misconception. There was a lot of team bashing. And all of this led to this chart right here. As you can see, not a very pretty chart. So you have bumps along the line, but overall, it's kind of sitting at the floor, so to speak. Now, if I make it a bit bigger, let's choose the 3-month. You see it right here. So the pre-market price was way higher. So if I zoom out a bit, it was somewhere around here. But then there was a huge red candle that followed up the TGE, and then you had a small bump initially, and then we've had this sideways type of action, and then you can clearly see that there is a small support line, even though the token is too young to actually add these lines, but still you can get the gist. The market cap itself is essentially quite small in my personal opinion for a project that amassed more than 100 million in TVL. I think its peak was 200 mil. So if I go to DeFi Llama right now, and if I filter out, actually I can filter ZeroLend here on Linea, just Linea at least, you will see that the Linea market has 143.13 mil, even though the high was, a bit higher. Oh no, apologies, this is the total value locked of ZeroLend overall. So yeah, so like I said, the top was around 200 mil, now we're about 143 mil. That's completely normal because most of this liquidity, in this case not most, more like 20%, 25%, came in just for the airdrop. So they took their airdrop and then they left. Now, even though that's the case, I'm here to tell you that the team is not bad, is okay, is doing well, is in my opinion professional. They are providing lots of announcements, they are integrating, and they are improving their product. They are moving forward, So the TGE, the mess up there is behind them. Now it's time to go in, to go forward. And they are essentially the only leading lending market within the Ethereum L2s, so to speak. So they are in most Ethereum L2s. I'm not talking about the prominent one like Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. I'm talking about all the others, so the upcoming ones, right? And here, actually, if you go back to the market, to the homepage, you can see what markets they are on. Like I said, so emerging markets, so to speak. So the Zero token, even though right now is at a depressive price, there are essentially 4 ways that you can earn. Either earn that token directly or earn with the token. So like I said, you can earn it through supplying and borrowing, basically using the product. So that's 1. 2, you take your Zero tokens, you either sell them on the market or you come here to the stake page and then you can stake them. Look at the APR right now. So this is up to 121%. Remember, the up to figure could be misleading. And this is if you lock your tokens for the maximum duration, which is 40 years. This is when you get the maximum APR. So you get an initial bonus, right? 20%, meaning you're gonna get 20% additional tokens once that lockup period expires, plus you're getting that high APR. 3, you can come to liquidity providers and add Zero wrapped ETH and then also take advantage of pretty good and potentially higher APRs, because look, for example, on Linex, Zero wrapped ETH gives you 274 without locking anything. Whereas on ZeroLend, if you just put your tokens, you get up to 120-ish with a lockup period. But the caveat here is that you have to get ETH and pair it with. So if Zero drops, meaning your LP will drop in value. However, the other way around is also good, but at the same time is not as much as if you also held the Zero token. There's always a trade-off at the end of the day. Nile was added recently as well, another LP provider on Linea, and right now there's about 200-ish liquidity here and about 600-700k liquidity on Linex. So they are closing in on 1 million liquidity and the market cap is about 11 mil as I showed you. So on Nile it works a bit differently. You just have to set up your range. I'm sure you're familiar with Uniswap v3 and how it works. So this is something similar, so to speak. You just add up your range. So how further you are from the current price. So the more concentrated you are, the closer you are, the higher the APR, and you can, simulate it here and basically get an idea of how much you can earn in their token. By the way, you see it's the Nile token. So, and that's besides the point that it's still early days and they can integrate their token in more markets going forward and more LP providers. So there's still a lot of room for growth here if they don't mess up. And I think their major Achilles heel here will be security, because we've had, encountered a recent hack and DeFi exploit on Sone.finance, which is the leading lending market on Optimism, unfortunately, and the exploiter took about 20 mil and potentially all the total value lock that exists currently on Sone on the Optimism market at least. So this hack not only affected direct users, it also affected several protocols. I've been indirectly affected, so to speak, through another protocol. So right now they are negotiating, hopefully they'll get the money back, and this is a compound v2 fork. So like I said, ZeroLend indeed had a shaky launch. That's true. And they still have issues right now, to be honest, because yes, they are on emerging L2 markets, but because they are there, meaning they're also getting the points, because if you go back to the dashboard, you'll see, for example, if I were to provide, let's say, this is the Linea market, if I were to provide Ethereum here or USDC or I can get LXP points, which is the the native currency right now on Linea, which will be converted to their native asset later on. So that's Linea. Blast, same thing, Blast points, gold points. If you go, for example, somewhere else on X layer, on so on and so forth. So the idea is that you are also taking advantage of not only the high potential APRs currently, but also, the points that would be converted to airdrops. but those points are not being credited properly. So this is an ongoing issue. They still haven't resolved this. Many people haven't seen their points, including myself. Hopefully retroactively we'll be able to. All right, but you know, fingers crossed. Let's see what goes on. So yes, they have their issues. Yes, they had a shaky start, but if they don't fall into the security loop, if they don't collapse in that, you know, sector of issues in DeFi, because if they do, I think it's GG, game over. But if they don't, there could be serious potential here, because they are, like I said, somewhere where not many or nobody is looking, you know, emerging markets. We do have a Telegram group, consider joining. We do share lots of things about crypto DeFi. You won't regret it. It's a cool room. With that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.